A 35-year-old woman named Yoon-soo is standing in a luxury apartment complex in Gangnam, Seoul. Wearing a black coat and holding a small handbag, she looked up at the 30-story apartment in front of her. It was a modern building with sparkling glass windows. Yoon-soo vividly recalled the memory of that day 3 years ago. It was the morning of Sunday, April 16, 2022, the third anniversary of our wedding. Her husband Ji-hoon said as he hurriedly got dressed. An urgent matter came up at the company. A meeting with investors was suddenly scheduled. Let's celebrate the anniversary when I get back in the evening. Ji-hoon kissed Yoon-soo on the forehead and left the house. That was the last thing Yoon-soo heard from her husband. Even in the afternoon, Ji-hoon had not contacted her. When Yoon-soo called Ji-hoon's company, she received a shocking response. "Boss? He didn't come to work today. And there are no meeting schedules." Yoon-soo was taken aback by the employee's words. The next day, an even more shocking fact was revealed. More than 300 million won has been withdrawn from Ji-hoon's account, which was all of his assets. Even the money from the couple's joint account has completely disappeared. Yoon-soo reported him missing to the police, but Ji-hoon had vanished without a trace. The more shocking thing was the divorce papers left at home. There was a note along with the divorce agreement that Ji-hoon had signed in advance. "I'm sorry. I can't live together anymore. I'll start over in the new place." With her husband's disappearance, Yoon-soo's life completely fell apart. Despite the police investigation, Ji-hoon's whereabouts remain unknown. People were whispering. It seems her husband cheated on her. Did he have debts? Yoon-soo sold her penthouse in Gangnam and moved to a studio apartment. She suffered from financial difficulties because of the money Ji-hoon took. She even developed depression and received hospital treatment for a year. She also lost contact with her friends. It was hard to endure the gaze of being a woman who lost her husband. Yoon-soo found a new job and quietly healed her wounds. 3 years had passed. Yoon-soo has now regained some level of calm. Although the feeling of betrayal was greater than the longing for Ji-hoon, she was ready to start a new life. In the spring of 2025, Yoon-soo was living a stable life at her new job. One day, Min-ji, a colleague at work, said to Yoon-soo, "Sister, a high school classmate contacted me. Do you happen to know someone named So-young? She said she's having a housewarming party and really wants you to come." So-young was a junior in the club that Yoon-soo was part of in high school. "We lost touch after the wedding, but she was really a sister I was close to." Yoon-soo contacted So-young right away, feeling delighted. "Sister. It's been such a long time." So-young's voice was still bright. "Congratulations on your marriage." "When did you get married?" Yoon-soo asked. "It was 2 years ago." "How are you and your husband doing, Uni?" Yoon-soo was momentarily at a loss for words at So-young's question. "Oh. We broke up 3 years ago." "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know." "Then you should come and meet our husband. It would be good for a new beginning." At So-young's suggestion, Yoon-soo made plans for this Saturday evening. On Saturday at 7 p.m., Yoon-soo prepared a bouquet and wine and went to So-young's house. It was an address for a penthouse on the 32nd floor in Upjeongdong. It was a luxury apartment similar to the one she used to live in. When I pressed the intercom, So-young happily opened the door for me. Seeing the still beautiful So-young, Yoon-soo couldn't help but smile. "Wow, the house is really beautiful." Yoon-soo looked around the living room, which is over 200 pyong, and said, "Since it's our newlywed home, I put a lot of thought into it." "Sit here. My husband will be coming in soon." While So Young was preparing the car, Yoon Seo explored the house. Yoon Seo, who was looking at the wedding photo hanging on the wall, suddenly flinched. The groom's back looked familiar, as if I had seen it somewhere before. At that moment, I heard the sound of the front door opening. "Honey, are you here?" So Young greeted brightly. "Yes, a guest has arrived." The man's voice was heard. Yoon Seo froze all over at that voice. It was the voice I had heard in my dreams for 3 years. The moment I saw the man entering the living room, I thought my heart would stop. The man standing there was none other than my husband Ji-hoon, who had disappeared 3 years ago. Yoon Seo's face turned pale. Ji-hoon also froze the moment he saw Yoon Seo, but quickly managed his expression. So Young introduced her in a bright voice, completely unaware of the situation. "Honey, this is my high school senior, Yoon-sa. This is our husband, Kim Jae-hoon." Jae-hoon? Ji-hoon was using a completely different name. Hello. I've heard a lot about you from So Young." Ji-hoon greeted calmly. Yoon Seon struggled to collect her thoughts. As if she were seeing a stranger for the first time. 3 years ago, her husband suddenly disappeared. And was living under a completely different identity, having married another woman. Yes. Hello? Yoon Seon barely managed to greet. So Young looked at Yoon-sa's pale face and asked with concern. "Are you okay, sis?" Your face suddenly turned white. "Oh, I'm fine, just a bit tired." Yoon-sa forced a smile. The 3 people sat at the table. The food that So Young prepared with great care was plentiful, but Yoon-sa couldn't swallow a single bite. "It's been 2 years since we got married. And I'm really happy." Yoon-sa felt like her heart was being torn apart by So Young's words. 2 years ago was 1 year after she had broken up with herself. While she was suffering from depression, missing her husband. Ji-hoon was starting a new love with another woman. "How did you meet?" Yoon-sa asked insistently. "We ran into each other at a cafe. And Jae-hoon started the conversation first. He's really a gentleman and a warm person." So Young answered happily. "When did you start dating?" "It was a truly fateful meeting, 3 years ago." And Yoon-sa's hands were trembling. 3 years ago, he was still married to himself. Ji-hoon tried to act calm, but Yoon-sa did not miss his anxious expression. "When I drink water, my hands tremble and I keep looking at the clock." All of this was his habit that I observed during our marriage. A few days later, Yoon-sa contacted So Young. "So Young, it seems like I lost my earrings that day. Could you check at home for me?" I made an excuse to visit So Young's house again. While So Young was searching hard, Yoon-sa looked around the living room. It was to find traces of Ji-hoon. As I looked closely at the photos hanging on the wall, Ji-hoon's image was everywhere. While So Young went to the bathroom, Yoon-sa opened the living room drawer. In the first drawer, I discovered something shocking. Ji-hoon and Yoon-sa's wedding rings were inside. Inside the wedding ring, there was an engraving that said "Forever J&Y." It was engraved to match when Ji-hoon was getting married. Yoon Seon was trembling all over. This guy still had our wedding ring. I quickly took a picture with my phone and closed the drawer. The more shocking thing was Ji-hoon's closet. While So Young went to the mart for a moment, Yoon-sa looked around the living room. In Ji-hoon's closet, the clothes he wore during his marriage were still hanging there. He was even wearing the luxury watch that Yoon-sa had given him as a birthday present. Yoon Seon, who returned home, hired a private detective. "I want to know the true identity of this person." I handed over the secretly taken photo of Ji-hoon from So-young's house. A week later, an astonishing result came from the detective. This man is definitely Park Ji-hoon. However, there is something strange. He started using the alias Kim Jae-hoon 3 years ago. He even created a completely new identity by making a fake resident registration card and fake educational background. He even underwent plastic surgery. He slightly changed my eyes and nose. So it seems that So-young didn't notice. There was an even more shocking fact. Ji-hoon had already been living with another woman before meeting So-young. Over the course of 2 years, I had sequential relationships with 3 women and obtained money from them. All of them were financially independent women. There is evidence that he is currently meeting with another woman besides So-young. He sleeps in different places every Tuesday and Thursday. At the detective's words, Yoon-soo felt a surge of anger. Yoon-soo created an opportunity to meet Ji-hoon alone. So-young waited for the day to go to her parents' house. While Ji-hoon was home alone, Yoon-soo visited So-young's house. When she rang the doorbell, Ji-hoon opened the door. You. Ji-hoon were shocked to see Yoon-soo. It's been a while, my husband. No, should I say my ex-husband? Yoon-soo said coldly. How did you end up here? Ji-hoon was flustered. So-young is my friend, who I've been close with since high school. Yoon-soo said she entered the house. A tension flowed between the two people sitting across from each other in the living room. Although they were a couple meeting after 3 years, they were now complete strangers. Why did you leave me and disappear that day 3 years ago? Yoon-soo asked directly. Ji-hoon was silent for a while. And why are you deceiving So-young, Kim Jae-hoon? You even made a fake ID and pretended to be a completely different person. And finally, Ji-hoon spoke up. I was tired of married life with you. Every day was the same routine, the same conversations, the same relationship. It felt suffocating. So you left me and ran away? Yoon-soo's voice trembled. I wanted to live a new life. I wanted to completely become a different person, and start over in a place where no one knows me. Then what about So-young? Will you throw her away someday too? Ji-hoon lowered his head. Ji-hoon kept talking. At first, I thought that way. But So-young is different. She's so pure and kind that I feel sorry. And Yoon-soo sneered. Then why are you meeting with other women? On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I know exactly where you sleep. And Ji-hoon's face turned pale. How did you? I hired a professional detective. The list of women you've deceived so far is all here. Yoon-soo showed the detective report. Yoon-soo contemplated whether to tell So-young the truth. However, she suddenly felt that if she revealed everything, So-young might not be able to handle it. We decided to take a gradual approach. First, I increased my meetings with So-young. We met 2 to 3 times a week for lunch, shopping, and at cafes. And naturally, I led the conversation towards Ji-hoon. What about Jae-hoon's family? Where is his hometown? Listening to So-young's answer, I realized that Ji-hoon had lied about everything. He said his parents had passed away. And that he was an only child, from Daegu. But it was strange that he didn't use any dialect in reality. Ji-hoon was born in Seoul, and his parents were still alive. I had a brother too. Everything was a lie. Has Jae-hoon ever acted strangely? Yoon-soo asked cautiously. Strange behavior? What do you mean? Just. Doesn't he sometimes sleep somewhere else? So-young's expression suddenly hardened. How did you know? I heard that there have been frequent business trips lately. Yoon-soo figured out the identity of the other women Ji-hoon is seeing through a detective. She was a doctor in her mid-30s. Her name was Han Mi-rae, and she was the director of a plastic surgery clinic. Ji-hoon had also approached her with a fake identity. Yoon-soo decided to meet Han Mi-rae in person. I went there under the pretext of having a consultation at the plastic surgery clinic. Director, do you happen to know someone named Kim Jae-hoon? Yoon-soo asked cautiously. Han Mi-rae's face brightened. Oh my, do you know Jae-hoon? He's my boyfriend. My boyfriend? Yoon-soo was surprised. Yes, we've been dating for a year. And are planning to get married soon. Yoon-soo revealed the shocking fact to Han Mi-rae. That person is already married. He has been living as a couple with another woman for 2 years. What did you say? Han Mi-rae made a face that showed disbelief. Yoon-soo showed the photos taken at So-young's house. This woman is his wife. Her name is So-young. Han Mi-rae was in shock. I didn't know. Since that person is already married. Yoon-soo started looking for Ji-hoon's other victims with Han Mi-rae. I contacted the women mentioned in the detective report one by one. The first was 25-year-old office worker Kim Hye-jin. Ji-hoon approached her under the name Lee Jung-soo and said he borrowed 10 million won while dating her for 6 months. The second was 40-year-old entrepreneur Park Sun-mi. Ji-hoon had been living together for a year under the name Park Min-soo. He said he took 50 million won, claiming it was an investment. The third was a 38-year-old teacher, Choi Eun-yoo. Ji-hoon had promised to marry under the name Choi Dae-hoon. He said he took 30 million won under the pretext of wedding funds. All the women were deceived by Ji-hoon and lost their money. They formed a support group for the victims at Yoon-soo's suggestion. They decided to report Ji-hoon together. Yoon-soo finally decided that the time had come to tell So-young the truth. I met So-young together with Han Mi-rae. So-young, there's something I really need to tell you. Yoon-soo said with a serious expression. What's going on, sister? Why are you acting like this all of a sudden? This person is actually Jae-hoon. And Yoon-soo introduced Han Mi-rae. This person has been dating Jae-hoon for a year. What? So-young made a face that said she couldn't believe it. Han Mi-rae said with tears in her eyes. I didn't know either. So-young's world collapsed when she found out. That person was already married. So, are you saying our marriage was a lie? Yoon-soo revealed a more shocking truth. So-young, and Jae-hoon is my ex-husband. We were married for 5 years under the name Park Ji-hoon. So-young was left speechless. He suddenly disappeared 3 years ago, and it turns out he was with you. The 4 women headed to the police station together. Yoon-soo, So-young, Han Mi-rae, and other victims have reported Ji-hoon for bigamy, fraud, embezzlement, and various other charges. The police immediately launched an investigation. It has been revealed that Ji-hoon used a fake ID, altered his appearance through plastic surgery, and received money and valuables from several women. That evening, when Ji-hoon returned to So-young's house, the police were waiting. Mr. Park Ji-hoon, you are under arrest for bigamy and fraud. Ji-hoon, as if resigned, calmly put on the handcuffs. More victims were discovered during the investigation. It has been revealed that Ji-hoon deceived a total of 15 women over the past 5 years, embezzling more than 2 billion won. There were even victims overseas. They deceived women using similar methods in Japan and China. A year later, the trial was held. Yoon-soo, So-young, and Han Mi-rae all appeared as witnesses. Other victims were also present in the courtroom with their families. Yoon-soo calmly testified from the witness stand. The defendant was my husband for 5 years. One day, he suddenly disappeared and I had no news for 3 years. But then he appeared as the husband of my close younger sister. So-young also testified with tears in her eyes. The defendant approached me with a fake identity and deceived me for 2 years, while living as a couple. I loved sincerely, but everything was a lie. Han Mira also spoke with a voice full of anger. The defendant promised me marriage as well. He is a heartless person who has relationships with multiple women at the same time. Ji-hoon was bowing his head in the courtroom. The lawyer pleaded for leniency, but the judge sentences the defendant Park Ji-hoon to 10 years in prison. It orders a total compensation of 2 billion won to the victims. Additionally, all marriages resulting from bigamy will be declared null and void. As they left the courtroom, So-young said to Yoon-soo, "Sister, thank you so much. If it weren't for you, I would have been deceived my whole life." Han Miri also spoke up. "We were able to fight together and realize justice." The 3 women embraced each other tightly. Although they were deceived by the same man, they have now become connected by a true friendship. 2 years later, Yoon-soo is walking alone by the beach in Jeju Island. "The wounds I received from Ji-hoon have completely healed. I found peace of mind through revenge and also started a new love." So-young and Han Miri were running a counseling center for fraud victims along with other victims. They were helping people who had suffered similar damages. As Yoon-soo took pictures of the sunset with her camera, she thought, "Love can sometimes bring betrayal, but it also gifts us with meetings with sincere people." "You have a message on your phone." It was So-young. "Sister, a new victim requested counseling today." Yoon-soo replied with a smile. "Let's meet together tomorrow." Ji-hoon has been serving a 10-year sentence in prison. Compensation was being paid to the victims in turn. Although it was late, justice was ultimately served. Yoon-soo is now ready to experience true love. "I discovered a stronger version of myself, having overcome the wounds of the past." As she gazed at the sunset over the sea, Yoon-soo envisioned a bright future. A shocking story of the husband who disappeared 3 years ago reappearing as a friend's husband. But in the end, the truth was revealed, and justice prevailed. Sometimes the biggest betrayal can become the greatest opportunity for growth. If you'd like to hear more stories, please subscribe.